Today everyone, my report is about different literary approach. There are three kinds of approaches. The historical approach, feministic, and the humanistic or moral approach. First, we talk about historical approach. Historical approach is a technique of presenting information in which a topic is considered in terms of its early phases and followed in an historical course through its subsequent evolution and development. History means past events that relate to a particular subject, place, organization, and etc. The first example literary piece from historical approach is The Adventure of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. Next is The Dragon Yard. Another example is The Pilgrims of Progress from this world, that which is to come, delivered under the similitude of wind. And that is the last example of literary piece from the historical approach. Now we proceed to the second approach, which is the feministic approach. Feministic approach attempts to stimulate the creation of critical environment that reflects a balanced views of women's experiences and values. So it focuses the women's experiences and their values. Feminism means it is a belief that men and women should have equal rights and opportunities. The first example from the feministic approach is the necklace. So it is familiar to us, wrote by Guy de Maupassant. So as you read this story about the necklace, it is the characterized by Emily and Homer Baron. Next is the Golden Notebook. And the last is This Bridge Called My Back, writings from radical women of color, wrote by Cherry Moraga and Gloria Anzaldúa. So the third and the last approach is the moral or humanistic approach. So in moral and humanistic approach, literature is viewed to discuss man and its nature. So in this approach, they are focuses from the man and its nature. So it talks about human behavior. It presents man as essentially rational, that is endowed with intellect and free will. So every one of us has intellectual value and free will. This approach is close in morality of literature to question of ethical goodness and badness. So it derives from our moral that we know how to know what is good or what is bad. The first example of literary approach from a literary piece from moral or humanistic approach is The Octopus, A Story of California by Frank Norris. Second is Van Wyck Brooks, The Flowering of New England. So it talks about the country of England. The last is Humanism and Introduction by Jim Herrick. So that's all my report. God bless everyone.